Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville. In just a bit, we'll be joined by Tyler Wiemann to go over some of your daily fantasy baseball projections. But first, we'll start things off by taking a look at some of the weather impacting today's MLB action. We're taking a look at the main slate and a couple things to take note of for weather conditions. Do take note of the 15 to 20 mile an hour wind out to right center at Yankee Stadium. Very advantageous to the king of the short porch, Anthony Rizzo, who had 3 home runs there last night. So keep an eye on that one. The other game to take note of is the A's at Giants. There's strong gusty winds blowing out to center. Could be good for hitters. However, could be negated a bit by those chilly temps. So no showers in the forecast. No postponements on schedule for today. So looking like things are good on that front. Now we bring in Tyler Wiemann to go over our daily fantasy projections. Before we do, we had some betting action last night.
Sure did.
I posted a poll on Twitter wondering, will Tyler go over 1.5 bases in his co-ed softball league? So the people want to know, what were the results?
I went over, and I'm disrespected by the line of 1.5 in a co-ed softball beer league.
So did you do well?
I went over.
You went over, so that means you hit a dinger. You had a bomb.
I did.
That's awesome. Way to represent for the On Deck podcast. We hit dingers around here. We don't just talk about them. All right, let's get to our daily fantasy projections for today. We'll start off with our chalk report, talking about some of the highest owned pitchers right now for the slate. First guy, Shohei Ohtani. I always love seeing his name on our rundown. He's going up against the Guardians today. Last time out, he held the Houston Astros to just 1 hit in 6 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts. Nuts.
And I believe he had a perfect game through 5 or something like that.
Just lights out.
He's incredible. Modern day Babe Ruth, right?
Love him. But the Guardians have been hitting the ball pretty well. So how do you think he fares today?
So like you said, they've been hitting the ball well. Guardians are top 5 in WRC plus against righties, and they're actually second in slugging. So they definitely are good against righties, but it's Shohei. Yeah. He's absolutely incredible. He has a 30% K rate, super low 3.18 FIP. The combined K rate for them today is 28%. So he has some upside of strikeouts. The one thing, though, I want to note is that the Angels kind of do this with him where they limit his pitch count. But so far, he hasn't thrown more than 81 pitches in a game. And they did that a lot last year where he was in the mid-80s. So that's probably kind of the extent of what he's going to get tonight, too.
In terms of value for what he's priced at today, worth the money?
Absolutely. And he probably still has the biggest upside on the slate. So
that's awesome. Love to see it. Shohei Ohtani. Go get him, everybody. Next up is Braves righty Charlie Morton. He's about 40% owned on DraftKings and FanDuel. Lost his last 2 starts. Hasn't gone much past 5 innings. 6.32 ERA. Kind of looking for a bounce back game from him. But we know he's capable of it.
Yeah, and you said he lost the last 2 starts. But those were both away, and both against it was against San Diego and the Dodgers. So East Coast coming to West Coast and 2 decent offenses. So I'm not going to put too much weight into that. But the Cubs are coming in. They have a 3.7 implied total. However, they are top 4 in WRC plus and first in average against righties. So they have been much better than you would expect. But Morton is a good pitcher, 3.45 FIP, right around that for ERA. The one thing is that his combined K rate for today is only 21%. He is, however, much cheaper than Ohtani is.
Yeah, so you might not get the strikeouts with him, but he does come in at a good price.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at Twins righty Joe Ryan going up against the Tigers today. He's about 35% owned. He's been doing really well this season. Yeah. Last outing gave up just 2 hits, 6 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts. Looking good so far. So is this a good play for today?
He's been terrific. The one thing with him is he is still a prospect. He only has 42 innings in the major leagues, but he's been absolutely terrific. 3.64 FIP, 28% K rate. He's great. Minnesota also probably has the best pitching weather on this slate because I think you said it was cold.
Yeah.
And the wind is slightly blowing
Right.
in. So those are all good things. But then Detroit is also bottom 10 against righties. They're striking out 23% of the time. And Detroit has a super low implied total of 3. So all in all, Joe Ryan looks like a great spot.
So,
and it's one thing that we can talk about now because I know we usually only go through like 2 high-owned pitchers. Today we're going through 4. And the reason is because all 4 of them are kind of similar high-owned.
Yeah.
And then there's just a huge drop-off. And there's not a lot of guys I like on the low side.
Okay.
So kind of going in a little bit more deep on those top guys.
Some days will be like that, you know?
Yes.
So Joe Ryan, even though we don't have, the sample size, we just know what we've seen
been
from him so
terrific.
far. Has been awesome. How about Jordan Montgomery? We always love to see a Yankees lefty here on the
I think it's
high-owned report.
funny how you get a little happier
Do
when
I?
there's any Yankee.
Does my tone go up a few octaves?
Just a little bit.
Just a little? All
Yeah.
right. Going up against the Orioles today. He's 30% owned on DraftKings. Now, Gumby's been pretty solid. Nothing groundbreaking, though, in terms of strikeouts, nothing like that. Last time out, gave up just 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, and 6 innings against the Tigers. What do you see from him today going up against the Orioles?
Well, one, it's about the best matchup he can get. Orioles are bottom 10 and striking out 29% versus lefties. So it's really about upside here. Montgomery has been good, though.
Yes.
3.6 FIP over the last 20, 3.5 ERA. It looks like his combined K rate is probably going to be around 22% today. And the one thing to note, though, is that Orioles have actually hit him well. In 106 plate attempts, they're hitting 302 off of him. They are striking out 23.6% of the time. So
You could see the strikeout numbers.
yeah,
go up a little bit.
Exactly. If he's able to pitch well, kind of limit some contact, he could have a good game. But Baltimore has also done well against him.
All right, let's go Gumby. Taking a look now at our low-owned pitchers. Marlins righty Pablo Lopez, who last time we talked about him on the show, we had talked about how he had just gotten married on his off day. The next start, he throws a career high in strikeouts with 7 shutout innings. That was against the Cardinals. So what do you expect from him today?
One is he's lower owned. He's only like 15%, which is coming in a lot less than everybody else. On FanDuel, he's virtually unowned. Washington has a super low implied total around 3.4. They're striking out 23% versus righties, and they're bottom 10 also against righties. So all in all, I think he has some upside there. He gets you away from some of the higher owned pitchers, and I think he's a good pivot off them.
Yeah, I really like this play here. A little Pilo. It's just that love story. Hits
Live,
home.
laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. You know we're all about that on Mag Podcast. Yeah. All right. You also have a note about Christian Javier.
Yes, Christian Javier. He's interesting to me, but he's probably going to be limited around 70 pitches. He's been a relief pitcher to start the year, and he's maxed out right about 55 pitches. So just know if you're taking him, he is cheap. But he's not going to go all the way. But he does have a super high K rate at 34%. So
love a high K rate.
There's some upside.
All right. Now let's take a look at how you can combat some of those pitchers with some high-owned stacks. First up, it's the Braves going up against Cubs righty Mark Leiter Jr. And we had success going up against Mark Leiter Jr. the last time he was on our show. And we talked about him. We kind of stacked against him a little bit. Hey, keep doing it until he can start to dial it in a bit. But the Braves looking like a great option today.
No, I'm not going to make up a nickname like Nick Poverty because that backfired a little bit yesterday. But Leiter's been bad. He's given up 9 runs in 7.1 innings. He's walking almost 6 batters per 9, and he's giving up 2.5 home runs per 9. So Atlanta also has implied total of 4.8 in their top 10 against righties. In slugging, and then also second in ISO. So they're hitting righties hard.
And he's given up a 7.14 slugging to righty bats this season. So loving the Braves bats today. We're also loving the Blue Jays going up against Waka. He gave up 2 home runs to the Rays last time out, now going up against the team with the highest slugging percentage in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Good luck.
The one thing, though, is Waka is not giving up a ton of home runs. For his career, he's only been giving up 1.1 home runs per 9, and he's given up 2 or less runs every start so far this year.
Okay.
But guys are getting on base. He has
Sure.
a 4.75 FIP, 5 ERA in Toronto,
But
like you
it's the
said.
Blue Jays.
Top 10 against righties. Yeah. And then also in 31 plate attempts, Toronto has hit 341 against him.
Yeah.
So they can actually absolutely get to him and probably will.
Probably will. Let's take a look at some lower owned stacks where you can maybe find a little bit of value. And first, we're going to look at the Miami Marlins going up against the Nationals righty Eric Fetty, and he's been getting knocked around a bit this year. Last start gave up 6 earned runs and 3 1/3 against the Diamondbacks, who are at the bottom of the league in just about every hitting category. And what do you see from the Marlins today?
And that's exactly it. One, it's Fetty hasn't been
Yeah.
great. The other thing is Marlins have actually been surprisingly good, especially against righties, where they're 7th in WRC+, 10th in slugging, 11th in ISO, 3rd in BABIP. Like, as far as hitting righties, they're one of the better teams in the league. They're also a cheaper stack, so using them can kind of help you get to some of those higher-owned pitchers.
You can get Shohei.
Exactly. You can get Shohei or maybe Joe Ryan, both of them. So the one other thing is that Fetty does give up some hard contact, 1.6 home runs per 9.
All right.
So
let's take a look at the New York Yankees going up against Orioles righty Tyler Wells. And we just love picking on Tylers. I wrote that in my notes. That was my little joke.
yeah,
So ironically, Wells' best start of the season, though, was against the Yankees.
I don't like picking on Tylers.
You don't like picking on Tylers, but
wish
you got to.
I should just play an all Tyler team today.
An all Tyler
to see how it goes.
He played them over a week ago, posted 4 scoreless innings against the Yankees. But now you're looking at a Yankees offense that's finding their stride. It's got to go up against Anthony Rizzo, who hit 3 bombs.
What do you think about Rizzo?
Oh, we love Rizzo. King of the short porch, baby. So what do we like about the Yankees besides
to go
Anthony
on
Rizzo?
to that, the wind is blowing out towards the short porch today, which is great. Wells is giving up 2.3 home runs per 9. There's a 4.6 implied total for the Yankees. They're starting to get hot. I just want to chase the hot team with the winds blowing out.
Can't go wrong with that. All right, let's take a look now at our home run calls for today. Quite simply, we're picking who we think is going to go yard. Now, yesterday, our picks didn't pan out for us, but I think we're due today. Where are you headed with your home run pick for today, Tyler?
I had to leave the Yankees to you today.
Okay.
So
I appreciate that.
I'm going to the
That's
Atlanta
very
Braves.
courteous of you.
It
courteous
is.
co-host. I appreciate it.
After your little Tyler dig, I probably shouldn't have, but we're going to the Atlanta Braves. Weather's great. Wind is blowing out towards right. And we're going with that righty-lefty matchup with Matt Olson versus Leiter, who's giving up 2.5 home runs per 9. Olson is going to go yard.
I'm going Anthony Rizzo. I can't not go with Anthony Rizzo after the king of the short porch delivered yesterday. 3 home runs. Are you kidding me? Oh, man, just a great night at Yankee Stadium. I think he has another great night tonight. I'm just simply going with a hot bat, the league leader in home runs right now. And he's going up against righty Tyler Wells, who's giving up a .667 opponent slugging percentage to lefty bats. Rizzo has a .767 slugging right now against righties. He's the king of the short porch, and I think he extends his reign tonight with a bomb in the Bronx.
Yep, and he has 5 home runs in the last week.
Just
might as well make it 6.
Rushing the ball, so might as well just ride this while it's hot.
I like it.
Let's take a look now at our prop bets of the day. We have been on fire with the prop bets. 2 for 2 for 2, which means that we've both hit our props 2 days in a row.
Yep.
So
I like it.
Some extra value today. So we've got pressures on to keep it going. Where are you headed with your prop?
I am sticking with pitchers like I have the last couple days, and I am going Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
Over 6.5 Ks.
Oh.
Now, that is plus 105.
Plus 105. We got some value here.
He's averaging 8.6 Ks per game. His combined K rate is 28% today. He
That
is
is
striking
crazy.
out 1.8 batters per inning. So I also looked up to see what his line is as far as outs. The line is 17.5 outs, which is roughly, they're saying 5.8 innings. So if he hits that, that's 10 and a half strikeouts.
Right. That's crazy.
So we're hitting the over 6.5 Ks.
Man, that's a great value pick right there. I'm going a little value as well. Anthony Rizzo, plus 100 for a run. He's gotten that mark in 8 of 17 games, but he's just been on a tear the past few games and going up against Tyler Wells. He's going to crush him. King of the Short Porch will deliver at least a run. We have him picked as our home run pick of the day for a reason. We're just kind of riding the hot streak of Anthony Rizzo right now, and I think he will account for at least a run. And I'm going with that for my prop pick. Remember, you can download the LineStar app. Follow us on social media accounts on Twitter. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. And remember to bet responsibly. And best of luck to you. We'll see you tomorrow.